Hello again and welcome back to another Commands and Colours Napoleonics solo playthrough. This is the Battle of the River Collar, 24th of July 1810. It was fought between French under Ney attacking against British and Portuguese under Crawford, and the British and the Portuguese units basically fled off the battlefield by crossing the river itself. This is quite a small one. There's quite a few French units on here, quite a few infantry, only a little bit of cavalry really. The British and Portuguese only have a couple of cavalry units, mostly infantry on the frontier, and these Portuguese lights. The first to get 6 victory banners in this one is the winner, and the British and Portuguese will get a victory banner if they get a unit off the bridge over the River Collar, which is the one here. It doesn't include leaders, it's only cavalry or infantry or artillery units at any strength, as long as they get off. But if they're forced to retreat off, then they don't get a point for that. So a relatively simple one. Interestingly, in this one they've only got 4 command cards each, so it's going to be quite difficult. I have played this before previously, and I think the French won by basically cutting the British line in half, so that's probably what they're going to try to do in this one, stop them getting to the river crossing here. But let's see how we get on, see if they can do that, and we'll see who wins. So the British are up first. I do apologise for the bright weather here, but I hope you can see this part of the battlefield. So the British are up first. They've got probe centre, assault right flank, bombard and scout left flank. Now that's quite interesting. The assault right flank might be good because they can start moving some of these units towards that bridge and getting them off straight away if they can. They've also got bombard, which would be quite good for the horse artillery to fire on the French infantry in front of them. Yeah, I think we'll go with bombard for now, so they can either move up to 3 hexes and not battle, or battle with 2 additional dice. And because these are British horse guns, they're always never as good as the field guns, the foot guns, so they start on 3, 2, 1, so that would give them a 3 dice because of the bombard, so that's not too bad. So we'll start with that. First one opening up, 3 dice, 3 kills, perfect. And why wouldn't you fire at that one with the other to try to get that victory banner? 3 sabres, that's nothing. So at least they've really heavily damaged that French unit straight away, so that was a pretty good opening turn. Okay, over to the French. Now in their turn, as I said really in this introduction, what I want to do is try to cut through that centre so I can stop them getting off that bridge as much as possible. So we've got attack right flank, counter attack, probe the left flank and bombard. Well, bombard is the same as the British. They've actually only got 1 artillery piece anyway, so it's relatively useless. So we'll ignore the counter attack and the bombard for now. So that brings us down to attack the right flank and probe the left flank. Attacking the right flank is probably going to be a bit of a fool's errand at this point. They've got infantry, but they will probably turn into square. I mean, that will reduce the British tactical decisions somewhat, but I think probing the left flank is probably the best at this point, and if we start getting these infantry forward, we can start at least shooting up some of the the British ones up here. So these are on the line, so I'm just going to advance forward, and if these advance in a block together, at least they're supporting each other. So no great shakes there, but at least they've started. And the British, they have scout the left flank, assault the right flank, probe the centre, or scout the centre. Well, trying to think of what's the best thing to do here. They don't really want to be moving off anywhere at this point. They could use the probe the centre to carry on firing their artillery down here, so that might be something just to get a couple of victory points in. But then it might be better to use a scout centre, I think, in this case, just to fire one of them and then get rid of that card out of the hand anyway. But it's only firing one dice, so because it's 3, 2, 1 to there, because it's field horse artillery. So that one dice is a nothing. But they take 2 cards. We shuffle them up, and probe centre was the one they got rid of. And back with the French. Attack right flank, counter attack, bombard, and attack left flank. Well, they've already started on the left flank, so let's get that moving forward a bit more. So we can move these 1, 2 up to there. We're moving 3 here. They can't fire now, the light, but we can get these forward, and these can fire. So we can at least start firing at those British units. And as I said, they're now advancing at least in a line together. So they're supporting one another when the inevitable counter-attack comes. So we've got the line infantry, they're going to fire at these guys, and so are these, they're all going to fire at those. So the first one, they're halving their dice, so we're rolling 2 dice. If that's nothing, these ones are halving their dice, so they're rolling 2 dice. That's a sabre and a cavalry, that's nothing as well. But at least they've got themselves a bit further forward, ready to attack perhaps next turn. And it's the Brits again. Probe the centre, assault the right flank, scout the left flank, and attack centre. Again, I don't really want to attack that centre just because they are a little bit too far away at the moment. It might be worthwhile shooting at them, but I don't want to lose units over there either. So what I'm going to do is use the assault the right flank to start to withdraw those units to the bridge on the right flank. So we'll pull back from here to here. I mean, this means that the French can't fire at us at least from that point, and they are then getting into position to start to cross that bridge and hopefully get a couple of victory points for it. Just put them in a slightly precarious position because that river can't be crossed, so they can't retreat across it. So they will lose units if they are attacked and they have to retreat. But I'm going to take that risk at this point, and I want to get them off the table if we can. And the French, let's see what they can do. So we've got bombard, which is relatively useless. Counter attack, which would be an assault on the right flank if they were to do that. Attack right flank, which is the same, and assault centre. Well, this, I think assault centre is going to have to be the one to go for, really. Just try to push forward and to get into, start causing some casualties, and as I say before, cut the line in half if we can. So we use as many cards in hand we have, so that's 4. So that's 2 units, get them together to support. I will also put in their leader with them, so that's 3. And then let's get some heavy cavalry up here so we can start threatening those guns, I think. Just to come in behind. So now they've moved, they can fire. They can fire at half their blocks, so they're both lined. So the first one firing with 2 dice, no hits. They're firing against the light rifles. And the second one, that's a retreat and no hit. The retreat they can ignore because they're supported. So not particularly effective firing, but at least they're getting forward. Right, the Brits, so they've got probe centre, attack the centre, scout the left flank, or counter attack, which would be an assault on the centre. Well, now we've got French in range actually, so that might be worthwhile doing the counter attack, which would be an assault on the centre, which would allow them to have 4 cards, 4 units. So we'll do that. So 4 units in the centre. Well, first of all, we've got, I don't know whether to try to smash these up with rifle fire. First of all, we'll get this unit moving onto this bridge. That's 1. That was what I was trying to do. I want to get that easy victory point, so get them on there and hopefully get them moved off in a future turn. So that gives us 3 more now. We've got the... I'm going to fire with the 2 horse artillery into the line, and also with the rifle light as well. They're British rifle light, so when they fire, I think they get a +1. Yeah, they get 1 block, 1 per block +1, so they're rolling 4. So we'll start with them. They're all firing at this unit here, so that's the closest. So that's 1 kill, nothing else. It's a good start. And the horse artillery are rolling 3, 2 on their dice. So the first one is a retreat and a sabre, so that's nothing because the retreat can be ignored. And the second artillery is a sabre and a cavalry, so that's nothing as well. But they gave them 1 casualty, so that's not so bad. And let's see what the French can do to counter that. So we've got bombard, attack right flank, counter attack, force march. So force march is all infantry units in one section. With an attached leader they can move up to 2 hexes in battle. Other units may hold or move one hex in battle, or move 2 hexes and not battle. That might be a good one to actually use, I think. I was going to do counter attack, which would be an assault in the centre, which would give them quite a few, but the force march is going to be better, I think. So we will force march, and they will attack. Oh, there's a big choice here, isn't there? It's either going to be this section or this section. That will get them 3 units moving. This will get them a few more. I think the better option is the middle one, isn't it? So they can move 2 hexes and not battle. So let's get these ones moving up. Let's get the grenadiers up. Really start, and the line infantry, really start pushing forward that line, I think. This is the best thing to do. And 1, 2, same with the light. They can get forward as well. And then we've also got these ones as well. So these, I think, will just go in here. They will either attack, well, they will have a go against the rifle light, because these guys are in the protective bastions. So, and these will possibly either attack the rifle light or go up against the artillery on the hill. So let's start with these. The French line, they get 4, but they also get a +1 when they're in melee. So they get 5. Let's see what that does. Right, that's 3 kills straight away. So that's then wiped out. The French have got the first victory banner. And they can take ground, so I will do that, because then that means they can either attack the artillery next turn or in a future turn, or they can attack into the stockades there. And as I say, they've now at least cut that line, which is what I wanted to do. We've got these guys going up the hill, so they start with 3, they get +1, they get -1 because they're going uphill. So I've got to be pretty lucky to beat this one, I think. Let's have a look. That's 1. Not terrific, but at least it's damaged them. They fire back. They're rolling 3 dice at that range in melee, so they've killed 2. So the French came out worse in that position, but at least they've, as I said, they've now cut that line, which is what I was kind of trying to do anyway. Okay, so not great so far for Britain, but we've got probe the centre, might be useful, attack centre, which is better, scout the left flank, and flank attack. That is very useful. I think we're going to go with flank attack. 2 units on each side. First one, they're off. So that's a victory banner straight away. And their second move on that turn is going to be these. These are the light infantry. They can actually move up to 2 and not fire. So they're going to get to there. So the more I can do without actually having to engage the French is probably better, I think, at this point. On the flank, on this flank over here, we've got the heavy cavalry, so I'll just bring these forward to start to at least threaten the French cavalry down on this flank here as well. And our second movement will be moved to move the rifles into there. They've moved, they can fire though, so they're going to, and they fire when they move at half their blocks rounded up with a +1. So they half it, so that'll be 2 dice with a +1, becomes a 3 anyway. So that's not so bad. They don't get any minuses for firing out of the woodland. So they're firing at the light because they fire 3 hexes as well because they're rifle light. So that's a retreat and nothing else. They can ignore the retreat because they're supported. So, but at least they're putting some pressure on that French. They're now in range of fire. Right here, the French have got to get moving quickly now to start causing some casualties. So we've got counter attack, which is useful. Attack right flank, bombard, and bayonet charge. Let's ignore the bombard because that is there's no point having that. The bayonet charge. 4 infantry can move up to 2 hexes and still battle in melee. Don't know if there's anybody that's close enough. There's these guys that could probably get into the Portuguese light there and see what we could do against them. Attacking into that is a -1, I believe. Yeah, so infantry would be a -1 into there. That might be worthwhile doing. I think bayonet charge is probably the best one at this point. So this is going to be an obvious one, attacking these. Or they could go for the light infantry here and try to force them off the field. Or even go for the leader and take him out as well. I can do that. Yeah, let's do that. Because he would be worth... They'd only need a sabre and he'd be worth a victory point. So we've got 1, 2. This is our second one. They're going to attack the rifle light in there. 1, 2. These are charging in here. They're attacking the light there. And then we can move another unit up to 2. So I think let's go with the light against the British light rifles. See what they can do against them in that windmill there. So that's quite an aggressive move on the French's part. So we'll start over here. We've got the line infantry. Start with 4. They get 5 because they're line infantry. -1 uphill. They need a sabre to kill. I think that's who is it? Crawford. No, they haven't. I don't think leaders get to attack back. So the leader doesn't get to attack back, but he has to retreat. No, he doesn't. He's okay. I can make him fall back, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave him there because I don't want to lose a leader. I'll hopefully move him next turn. So I may have played that wrong, but oh well. Here we are. So we've got the light infantry over here. They're attacking. They're attacking into over into the towns. So attacking in, they're -2, so they're only rolling 2 dice. But that's 2 kills. The British light gets a battle back with 1 dice. When they're attacking out, it's nothing. So that's not a hit. So that's how it stands. We've also got the line infantry attacking into the bastion. So that starts with a 4, gives them a 1 because they're line infantry, but -1 for attacking into the defences. That's 4 kills. That's exactly what they needed. So that wipes out the Portuguese, gives them another victory banner, and they can take ground. So they will. They are definitely cutting that line in half by doing this. And same again over here. They've got 4. This time it's a kill and a retreat. So they will have to retreat because they're not supported. So they'll fall back to there. And the French will follow up. And it means they don't get to battle back because they retreated. So a relatively successful turn that for the French, having wiped out a unit and pushed one back and nearly destroyed another. Alright. Good work. Alright, so it's currently 2 victory banners to 1 for the French. So we've got probe centre, attack centre, scout left flank and assault the left flank. Assault the left flank may be useful at this point. Or maybe even probe centre and get that artillery firing out again to try and take out these couple of units here, I think. We've also got to get that leader off as well if I can. Okay. Let's do attack centre. So, we got, first of all, no, 1. And then move those off 2. So at least the leader is saved. And that gives them a victory banner. So that's 2 used up. Artillery will fire with 3 dice. And the line infantry, that's a kill. So they don't get to fire back. The British get another victory banner, so they're now on 3. So that's halfway there at least. That was a reasonable turn. Right, let's have a look, see what the French can do. So they've got counter-attack, attack right flank, bombard, and probe the right flank. Tough one this. I think if we do counter-attack, that will be attack centre. So that will give us 3 units to move in the centre. They're just going to attack them to try to wipe them out. What else can we do? We could attack with the line infantry up against the horse artillery, just fire at them. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe able to get a couple of extra victory banners this turn by doing this. So we've got the line infantry attacking against the light. So they're 5 dice, 2 kills, a sabre and 2 retreats, so that wipes them out. So that's given them their first victory banner. So for a third, should I say. We've got the line infantry. They're going to fire at the artillery. They're normally firing 4. They're firing uphill, so -1, and that's no hits. And then we've got the line infantry attacking uphill. They're normally rolling 5, but they're attacking uphill, so it's a rolling 4. And that's 1 kill. Oh dear, it's got some staying power. That's that gun. Let's just have a look at when they return fire. With only 1 block, they're only rolling 2 dice. But that's 2 kills. That's severely weakened that French unit. But the French tactic of cutting that line has certainly worked. They're really able now to probably close down the British as much as possible here. So all the action's probably going to start moving towards there on the right flank. Right, so the Brits have got probe centre, assault left flank, scout left flank, and probe centre. So 2 probe centres and 2 left flanks. Not a great choice really there, is there? They could perhaps do something with on the left flank. Maybe use 4 units to attack some of these French that are in front of them. Or they could fire at some of these, use them. I think it's better to use the artillery at this point. There's more of a threat of losing that artillery, so they're going to fire at those, and they will also fire at those. It's only 2 units, so that's 3, 2 firing first of all. But let's do the first one. They're only rolling 2 dice, but that's 1 kill. And let's see if that's their leader. No, it's not. They get to battle back. Yes, because they get -1 for attacking uphill, but they can. So they don't do anything because that was a man. And these are firing 3, 3, 2 dice. So that's a retreat, and the gun, they can ignore their retreat because they've got a leader with them. So not a great work from the British artillery there, but they tried their best. And back to the French. So we've got probe the right flank. It's not a great deal going on the probe on the right flank these days. Attack right flank. Sorry, I'm thinking left flank. Bombard and scout left flank. So scout left flank will ignore because there's nothing happening there. Bombard. So we've got probe and attack on the right flank to choose from. Be stupid just to go probe really, so let's go with an attack. So they will attack, so that's number one. They've also got two more units that can move. So they'll bring these on 1, 2, 3. Let's get that French cavalry up. See if they can take out the British cavalry as well. And get them up in a line as well. And if needs be, if they don't defeat the light, these will attack the light as well, but they'll probably go into square. So let's have a look. We've got our French light attacking into the windmill, -1. That's enough to kill them. So that's taken them out. Another banner, victory banner for the French. They're now on 4. And they'll move their light infantry into the windmill and capture it. This aggressive French tactics are really working well today. Okay, let's see if the Brits can pull back on this one. So we've still got three victory banners to the French 4, so they're holding their own. We've got probe centre, assault the left flank, scout the left flank, and a coordinated advance. Oh, coordinated advance would have been good if there was anything on their right flank, but there isn't. So that's a bit useless. We've got the probe centre, so I could carry on with the artillery firing. Let's go with a coordinated advance because that'll allow the 2 artillery pieces to fire as well. We'll also allow an attack on this side here. So we will fire with the 2 artillery as we did before. They're going to be firing into there. We've also got, I could bring that heavy cavalry in to attack on the right hand flank, on the left hand flank, sorry, or even move up the British cavalry. It's a tough one, or attack the windmill. Let's go with a heavy cavalry attack against the French light. Probably more likely to do some damage here than anywhere else. So we'll start with that. So well, let's have a look at the artillery first. The British artillery. First one is firing 2 dice. They're the advancing line infantry. So that's no kills. So they get to fire back as before, and taking it out. Oh god, terrible. So the French are now on 5. This is not looking good. So we've now got they're firing 2 dice again against the line infantry. I went off the table, we roll it. It's 2 retreats, so he can ignore 1, but they can't ignore the second, so they go down behind that. They're out of the fire there, at least. So we've got the British cavalry attack, so that's 4 dice against their light, and that's no hits. So they get to battle back, just rolling normal dice. It's 2 sabres and a retreat. This retreat they can ignore, but the 2 sabres they can't. And because they've taken hits, we'll see if their commander is killed. 2 sabres, and he is. Nope, not this time, thankfully. So that was the British turn. Wasn't great. And it's given the French another victory banner. Right, I think it's quite obvious at this point, if the French have got anything on their right hand flank, they're just going to attack the British cavalry, because that will give them that 6th and final victory banner. Probe right flank, bombard, scout left flank, and attack centre. Well, it's going to have to be the probed right flank, isn't it? So 2 units, sorry. So they will attack. These will move round, come round here to cut off their escape route and attack if they get forced back. So we've got the first French light cavalry attack. That is a sabre and a cavalry, so that's them dead. Let's just test if their leader is killed as well. This time he's rolling a 1 dice. No, he isn't. So he retreats up to 3. 1, 2, 3. He'll go all the way back there. And let's finish it off. The French can follow up, which they will, so they'll be threatening that British infantry on the hill. They get their 6th and final victory banner, and the game is the French. So that was a really, really good tactic to use, I think. Basically, just smashing their way through that centre to cut the line. They've really, that, you know, even just looking at this game, if you were just to step into it now, you could see that's a French victory. They're literally surrounding, you know, six units of the Brits in the centre. They've got all this fresh stuff down here. They could just easily pile in. Anyway, great game. Another great game. Again, I hope you've enjoyed that as much as I've enjoyed playing it and showing you how it plays. The next one up is going to be scenario number 8, which, let me just check, that is Busaco. It's Busaco Part 1. There's two Busaco scenarios. So, as I say, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed playing it. This is a nice little scenario, this one, if the British can get as many units off that back end as possible. It's a bit of a race against time. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. Check out the other videos in this series. There'll be more coming. And thanks for watching, basically.